This is a 3-minute biology video on how to name nucleotides. Like, comment, subscribe.
Okay, so nucleotides make up two really big molecules that we've been talking about, DNA and RNA. The difference between DNA and RNA is actually how stable they are, and that is because of one single oxygen. So if we look at the DNA molecule, we see that DNA molecule, we look at three parts. There's the phosphate group, the sugar, and the nitrogenous base. RNA, same thing. Phosphate group, sugar, nitrogenous base. If you look at the second carbon, and we know the second carbon is which one, because we count 2 from the oxygen, so it's 1, 2. You'll see that in RNA, it's a hydroxyl group there. In DNA, it is just a hydrogen. This oxygen makes RNA unstable. It will break down at room temperature, whereas DNA sticks around for eons. So when naming DNA and RNA, the first thing you do is identify whether or not it's DNA or RNA. So again, you look at the second carbon. If it's a hydroxyl group, you're going to use no letter, and if it's a hydrogen, you're going to use the letter D. So let's go ahead and describe this one. We have a hydrogen there. That makes it DNA. We put a D there. The next thing we do is we look at the nitrogenous base. So the nitrogenous base can be T, A, G, C, or U. And if you don't know which one it is, you use the variable N. In this case, it's a T, so we're going to put a T here. Then we count the number of phosphates. Here we have 2 phosphates. That means we're going to go over here to our code. 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri. Since we have 2, we're going to use the letter D. And then we're going to finish this off with phosphate. So this is a deoxy, TDP. Okay, and the last thing I want to point out is that phosphate groups are going to determine the amount of energy in these molecules. The more phosphate groups you have, the more energy. The phosphate groups are incredibly negative, right? Right?
Yeah.
So pushing them together is going to be very difficult. As you push them together, you're going to put energy into the system, and you can release that energy by breaking one of these bonds. If I break this bond, for example, this phosphate is going to go flying off, and we can use that energy to power other things.